What is up, everybody? Turbo vs. TV here today. So yesterday was a crazy day. People had Game Pass trending. I think I had like over 10K tweets of Game Pass. People just trolling Sony guys mainly. And so because of that, we had some guy who wanted to do the complete opposite and be like, hey, let's pay $70 for games. It's a lot cheaper because inflation should make the games a lot higher. So this is a stance that he took, that we should be happy to pay $70 for games. So definitely interesting post right here. So he says inflation has eroded a shocking one-third of the U.S. dollar's value since game prices rose from the $50 to $60. It's so severe that AAA game prices would need to be $80 today to have equivalent value. Even at $70 USD, gaming has never been cheaper in America. So he is shilling. It sounds like he's shilling for the $7 price point, like for mainly PlayStation exclusive games. And it's like, I don't think any games should be worth $70 to be honest. I don't think any of these games should be. Like, the gaming industry is making more money than ever before. So I don't care about this whole inflation argument about how games should be higher because of inflation, or because when you were younger in the SNES era, the games were like $80. I don't care. It's 2021. It's not the 80s. I don't care about what the prices were back then. The standard price for the longest was like $60, and they raised it to 70. And I don't think any of these games should be worth it because, like I said, the game industry is making more money than ever. A lot of these games come out buggy as hell. Even like that $7 Returnal game, Returnal was charged for $7. That game was buggy. It was crashing people PS5s. It was corrupting people's save data. And people would be like, "This is game of the year right here." It's like, really, a game that's crashing your game and the corrupting save data is game of the year, really? Okay. And you got big day one patches. It's like day one patches. Like you have a game that's like, let's say 30 gigabytes. The day one patch would be like 5 gigabytes. It's like, what is going on here? It's like, I don't agree with that. And microtransactions and loot boxes. They take stuff from they cut stuff from the game that try to charge you extra for it. So no, I don't think any game's worth $70 to be honest. I was like, I just wait for a sale most of the time, and like I'm at a point where I can buy $70 games if I wanted to, but I just choose not to. Like Ratchet and Clank, that game was super short. I'm not paying $70 for that game. So let's read some of the comments. This isn't telling the whole story. The gaming industry also has significantly become more profitable. Okay, it's not a story; it's data. Your interpretation and what you choose to do with it is up to you. The argument would be more valid. The argument would be more valid if the value of the federal minimum wage hasn't increased by nearly 20% since 2009, and the average American family didn't have 7,000 less per year to spend on food, rent, and other essentials compared to 50 years ago. Most games in the UK were around 37. I don't know if this is pounds or euros during the 360 generation. Now they're up to 70. No wonder people like Xbox Game Pass. Yeah. I'm fine with $7 if we get rid of microtransactions, but we want. These companies are making record profits at the current prices and strategy of a long tail. Also feel $7 will feel better for massive RPG or AAA Naughty Dog rather than something like Returnal. What LMAO? Returnal was very much a fantastic game and well worth the £70 or euros. If you had zero microtransactions, great gameplay, story was engaging, terrific to replay. Okay. And don't AAA games cost way more to make now with a lot more man hours due to how much more complex nature of the console architecture? You say it's cheaper than remember how when the game came out for the PS1 and S, we got the complete game for one price. Now there's the base game and a huge amount of DLC, so most games now cost more. Problem is though, regular Joes aren't making more than they were 5 years ago. Games have never been cheaper for some and never more costly for most others. I gotta remind you, I'm still kind of sick from yesterday, so that's why my voice sounds different. Just leaving that out there. I like to emphasize that in America we have gotten prices hikes. We have gotten price hikes in Brazil. A lot of them over the years. Nowadays, one shot costs a third of the monthly minimum wage. Jeez, that's a lot. And all over Europe, etc. too. Games here cost 80 euros, which is more or less 90 USD. For some European countries, that's fine, but some, like in the East, that is so expensive that the majority still play on PC because pirating exists. And I know there's a difference between. Couldn't we sell it cheaper a year ago? The value of a game is a effervescent. Okay. Normally, I would agree with you, but not in the way games are otherwise being monetized these days. We may be paying less than ever, but they are still making more than ever. Yeah, they're making. You can't deny these companies are making more money than they ever have before. Like it's just insane how much money these game industries are making now. Let's see. Except that gaming now includes a much larger upscale in most games on average, DLCs, battle passes, and other. Okay. So let me read this one post I was talking about that talks about this post, but he didn't directly quote to him. So he says, Xbox Game Pass makes it where you don't have to tweet something like this to compensate. LOL. Because yeah, you can scrap this whole conversation by saying Game Pass. It's like literally, it's like you're paying $10, $50 a month to play a lot of these big AAA games on here. So it's like Game Pass. It's like I don't care. Well, especially with Game Pass, you ain't talking about no inflation and no paying $70 a month. A dude who handled his own taxation is saying pay more. Paying more is value. This is still a reasonable take. Some Nintendo games were $70 plus back in the day. You think about the amount of hours you put into a game, from 10 to 100, as you're paying from $7 an hour to pennies on the dollar an hour. Good value for entertainment. It's based on facts, actual numbers. Since the game's full price became $60, cost of development has quadrupled. It's simple logic. Games either had to increase price or drop in quality, and the third option is making money in games as a service and monetizations. You can't even get the math right. If the value of the USD is only 67% of what it used to be, then $60 at a point/.67 equals $90. The sad state of those who defend the price hikes. Yeah, I don't understand people who just willing just defend the games the prices going up. It's just like they just want to pay these companies more money. It's just weird to me. It's just weird. And isn't the gaming industry reaching record profit anyways? Demand is higher, development is more streamlined, and we have things like DLC and microtransactions. Either way, I don't see how us as a consumer should worry about how multi-million dollars but companies make their money. I don't get it either. They just want us to pay. It's weird because they want us to pay these companies more money, pay these companies $70, and don't complain, like, and just be okay with it, and just willingly just do it. I don't understand why they want us. It's just weird. Minister of Gymnastics to justify for F6. It also is an extremely flawed argument because it only looks like the difference in the value of the dollar and not how the economic model of monetization as gaming has evolved. Can he count everything else has doubled or tripled? It's not just about gaming, sure showers turn out, but so did gas, houses, food. Sony spends a lot of money on advertising PS products. That's an extra $10. It's enough to have the gaming media and PS influencers put a good words for them. Video games today are sold way more than 10 years ago. Digital distribution and save a lot of money. Collins' comment is irrelevant. Yeah, because you got to think of that you're doing, especially since they're doing like digital games now. Then you got to go through the process or like going to like shipping a game to like an actual retail store. You can just buy a game digitally in a lot of these cases. Yes, they still charge you $70 for the game. Like digital games are still $70, so it doesn't make any sense why they're still $70. Well, I know. Well, technically, I know why because they don't want to mess up the whole connection they have with retail stores. But still, $70 for a digital game. You're gonna go through the extra process of doing the other extra workaround. Digital games are the same price as physical, which is essentially a price increase. Not to mention all the microtransactions and the DLCs. You can't justify selling all your games. 99% of the games in Game Pass are not $70. Unfortunately, America is a small part of the gaming market, and in Australia, gamers are paying out of the nose for PlayStation products. Let me read his quote tweets. Those are probably more interesting than regular tweets. Yikes. Been singing this song for the better part of 6 years, and all I ever got is CEOs get millions in bonuses. Don't give them more. Inflation is real, and most of the gaming development has risen. This is some dumb ass man. When you fail to high school and pretend to go to college on the internet. Not sure why extra credits here is trying to justify game price increasing because most games have the same amount of monetization, microtransactions, DLCs, battle passes, microtransactions. Some take out game content to resell it, so there's absolutely no reason for $70. This is the coldest hot take I have ever seen. Ooh, Sony charges me more. Video games should not be $70. End of. My Polish check on game prices in Poland. Game price increased here from 65 to 90. Jeez. 40% increase in price overnight. Minimum wage in Poland is only half of U.S. minimum wage. Wow. Why Polish games have to pay 30% more than we earn 50% was. So they're definitely getting screwed over in Poland compared to the U.S. But that's interesting. Even cheaper than this is just playing the waiting game with very few exceptions. Some first-party Nintendo IP, the majority of new games selling at 60 at launch, dropped by 33% within a month. Yeah, it definitely is a thing here because you can wait like at least like around a month, like we see right here, and all these games drop in price like instantly. Especially if you buy like the games off eBay, buy games pre-owned on eBay, those games drop in price extremely fast. Like Ratchet and Clank, that game was $70. I waited like at least a few weeks, waiting for the FOMO to die down with some of these PlayStation guys once they beat that game, they put it on eBay. And I got the game for about $50. I just waited it out. I was like, I want to play the game, but I'm not paying $70 for it, $70 on tax, so I just waited it out. And as he says, patient pays. FOMO will cost you by the way of the launch tax of $20+. It's your call. The hoops some people jump through to defend $7 games now is just pathetic. LOL. Let's see. Someone screenshot a thread from this tweet and posted a podcast on Facebook. It was amazing to see the mental gymnastics some people used to prove. You're wrong on this. I've been a gamer all my life. I can attest that there's never been cheaper to be a gamer. Even with this information, I see so many places is valid morally and ethically to steal games by pirating bothers me. In addition to my reply, I should add that I agree with Jim Sterling on this. If a game had microtransactions, season pass, etc., it should be free. Grateful to have the opportunity to talk to people from Mexico to New Zealand. Gaming is not cheap in most countries, and options like Game Pass and releasing games on many devices are paramount to reducing global friction to grow gaming. Economically, gaming is expensive. Spending facts, if they increase the price, but man, a $10 increase cannot hurt you that much, man. Y'all were paying for full price games back then. And now people are paying less for full price games. So thanks Sony for increasing the price now. Let's ignore that the most expensive cost that has been eliminated in manufacturing, distribution, even packaging, and also know the broken state most games launching now. Yeah, I'm gonna conclude this video. I'm feeling so sick right now, man. I'm gonna conclude the video right here, but yeah, it's like people are saying the same thing. People don't want to pay more for this whole. People don't want to pay more. People don't want to pay more for video games. So it's like right now they're making the most money ever. They got microtransactions, DLCs, all this stuff being taken out the game to be resold to you. So I just don't agree with paying $7 for video games. To be honest, I can wait for a price drop for most of these games. It might be like one exception. It's probably God of War. But other than that, that's like the only game that's probably going to change my mind about the $7 price point. But other than that, I can just wait for a price drop for most of these games. So I'm not paying $7. But those are just my thoughts. I want to see yours down below. Leave a like if you like this video. As always, thanks for watching and peace.